I can, you know, practice some self-control and not just peruse and buy the prettiest yarn that jumps out at me, which is always fun. Hello, my name is Louise and welcome to Adventures with Yarn. This is my knitting and crochet YouTube channel in which I talk about the things that I knit and crochet. Thank you so much for joining me. If this is your first time, welcome, and if you are already a subscriber, welcome back. I'm so glad that you're here. As always, if you like what you see, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. So, like I said, I'm Louise. I am coming at you from the state of Oregon in the United States. I work as a nurse during the day, and during my free time I mostly gift knit. And so Knitmas is upon us. That is that wonderful time of year in which, you know, we're making Christmas presents, we're giving away Christmas presents, lots of hand knits are going out. I do apologize for not posting sooner, but I was kind of held up with my Knitmas creations. And then also, as I am likely to do, when I already have enough on my plate, I just pile on a little bit more. And so that was the case a couple weeks ago. I already had my gift knitting going on, but I really wanted to start making stitch markers, and I put together some stitch marker advent calendars. I am so glad that I was able to finish those, and I sent off several in the mail to winners. So if you didn't get a chance to participate in that giveaway, make sure that you are watching my Instagram at adventureswithyarn.com. Sorry. both places. Make sure you're watching my Instagram at adventureswithyarn, and if you haven't already looked at the adventureswithyarn.com website, I'd really highly encourage you to check that out. It is a social media platform free of censorship. The only censoring is by me. So I shouldn't say totally free of censorship, but free of political censorship. I haven't had any issues so far with like hate speech or, you know, racist remarks or people being awful to each other, but I would be the one regulating that. So if that is something that appeals to you, come check it out. Anyways, should we get into knitting? I have several finished objects. Where to even start? Oh my gosh. So why don't I show you guys the finished sweater. This is the Ellen's Playset cardigan, I guess. Cardigan. Is it a sweater or a cardigan? Because it's got buttons up the front. Well, it does have buttons. So that was what was missing last time. So now we have these really cute little tortoiseshell buttons here. This is so stinking cute. Can you even believe it? Look at it. I made this with Knit Picks Stroll Glimmer in the colorway Blush, which is one of my favorites because it's pink. But it also has some sparkle to it. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it does have some sparkle in the yarn. This will be for my newest baby niece. She is about 2 months old, and this is the 2-month-old size. This is going in the mail, if not today, then tomorrow. So I really hope my sister's not watching this. Super, super cute. Super, super cute. This was fun, that's for sure. The eyelet pattern definitely kept things interesting. It's so stinking cute. I could see myself making this again. Very, very cute. Very, very fun. I made another sweater for the babies. For my older niece, who is 2 years old, we have here oh, let me think of the name. I think it's the Pinewood sweater. I'll have the name down below. But here we go. Now this, I cast on and finished even since I last filmed. So you haven't even seen this at all. But we have this finished here. Look at this nice motif down the center. So this is a fairly simple pullover sweater with, I mean, just stockinette all over the place except for the middle motif, which was just a pattern of knits and purls to make this nice kind of chevron pattern here. I made this with my favorite cotton yarn, which is I Love This Cotton from Hobby Lobby. This cotton is so soft. I love the drape of it. I love the feel of it. And the color is aqua. It feels so nice. It feels like creamy, kind of. It's really nice. I like this yarn. I love this yarn so much. I think I might want to make myself a sweater out of this yarn. Technically this would be considered bargain yarn, but it's not acrylic. Like I said, it's cotton. I could see that. So I usually get like gift certificates for Hobby Lobby for Christmas, and so that is my thought. If I get that again, maybe I can, you know, practice some self-control and not just peruse and buy the prettiest yarn that jumps out at me, which is always fun. But I could potentially just hunker down and only buy the I Love This Cotton in the same color. Although even that amount at Hobby Lobby that I would need for a sweater all in the same lot color, it would be tricky. Although I could do the what's it called? It's like the helixical in the round, which is the strategy I used for the other sweater I made myself. That was with Amy Florence yarn of Stranded Dye Works. And that is a strategy used for hand-dyed yarn, in which you know that it's like not going to all be the same color. So I could see that maybe. I could see that maybe working out. So I was knitting along on this. Now I did make a mistake. So you can see that the collar is ribbed, knit 2, purl 2 rib, and you can see that the hem is also ribbed, knit 2, purl 2 rib. And like a dork, when I knit the sleeves, I just went for it, knit 1, purl 1, boom, 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 finished this sleeve. And then when I went to knit the other sleeve, realized, oh wait, is that supposed to be knit 1, purl 1? I think it's supposed to be knit 2, purl 2. I don't think my niece is gonna care. As it already is, the cuffs are pretty long, but I suppose that's just gonna kind of be the style for this sweater. I definitely knit the cuffs as long as the pattern called for. It did call for like these little 2-inch cuffs, which will be fine. That'll be cute. And like I said, I don't think a toddler is going to care that much. I think overall in general, this is just so cute and I love it. And I can't wait to see her in it. All right, what's next? Let's see. I have a nice big finished object here. Now this is the Ruby's Hexagon blanket. It is crocheted. Now I'm sorry to spring this on you, but I actually never got around to showing this on the podcast. I started crocheting the hexagons and I don't know, like I got into it, I got a rhythm, and then I would put it down. I don't even know how long ago I started this, but I would put it down. I ended up acquiring, you know, a great big old stack of the hexagons because then I was going to join them all together at the end. But for whatever reason, I don't know, I didn't include it in the podcast, which is sad. I think that I feel like I need to give crochet more credit. I need to give crochet more attention. I don't know, sometimes I feel like in the knitting community, there's a big emphasis on knitting. But really, like, I learned to crochet right before I learned to knit. I feel like I crochet faster. I might enjoy crocheting more than knitting, but I enjoy finished knitted projects typically more. Like, I've never crocheted a pair of socks, but I really do like crocheting afghans. This is a present that's going to be for my dad for Christmas. He likes blue, and so what I did was I busted out some of my stash to make this. This used up a total of 7 skeins of yarn. They are all acrylic out of my stash. Let's see here. The hexagons themselves, 6 different colors, and then joined together with a 7th color, which is also used around the border. We got a single crochet border all along the edges. So what I did, like I said, the pattern was Ruby's Hexagon blanket, and I made these hexagons, and every one has, well, almost everyone, but my intention was to have, you know, these little stacks of hexagons that were all different from each other. So I had, as you can see, most of these hexagons have 1 color per round in them, grays, blacks, whites, and different colors of blue. So I would pick out a pattern, a pattern of color and a color sequence, and I would make 5 of those and then add to the stack, and then I'd make another square with a different color sequence that was different and make 5 of them, put it in the stack. So I would do that over and over until I ran out of some of the blue. And so then I think there are like 3 random hexagons in this blanket that actually do repeat. They have, I don't know if I could find one, but they do have the same color in it twice. Here's one. So you can see here we've got the white, gray, black, blue, and then gray again. So those are kind of hidden in there. I would say I definitely did a very calculated randomness for this. I don't think the pattern itself really talked about the border much, but I decided to do a single crochet border and then basically used up all that was left of the yarn with the border. And so that's why you can see here that you have this random change. Basically, I had enough of this dark blue to make the first border and then went around with the gray. The gray ran out, so then I added the blue, and that barely made it around in time for me to finish up with blue again on the very outside. So in the end, what was really awesome is that there is none of this yarn left. The yarn that I used for this blanket is all used up. And it was stash yarn, so I'm very happy about that. I think I see some more crocheted afghans using my stash bargain yarn in the future for this year, for 2021, because this was a lot of fun. I will say that weaving in the ends was a little bit of a pain, but I kind of made myself go about it very methodically. Like I told you, I was making these stacks of hexagons in 5s, right? So I would crochet the very middle, and do that 5 times. So I had 5 little rings, and then before I moved on to the next color, I'd make myself weave in all the ends and snip them. And I was also very methodical with weaving in my ends this time, because many years ago, maybe like 6 or 7 years ago, I crocheted myself an Afghan, and I put a lot of time into it. It was a granny square with great big old chunks, and it was so cute. I really liked the colors. I bought the colors. I picked them out with my annual gift cards for Hobby Lobby that I get for Christmas. I picked out these colors, and they were like these bright neon colors, all held together with like this ash gray, and it was really, really cute. It was kind of like neons and pastels, sort of, with the gray. It looks really cute. You can see it on my Instagram. And then very tragically, a couple of the ends came undone, like in the very centers of the squares. And at that point, like, to me, it's just kind of too far gone. And it happened a couple times, and I don't even know. I mean, I suppose if I really put effort into it, I could figure it out and fix it. But especially with it being from the ends, I mean the middles, it would kind of be like crocheting backwards or inside out. I don't know. It just didn't, I don't know. Maybe I'll repurpose that yarn, make myself a new one. I'd love to hear what you think. But because of that, I was very methodical with my ends. Every end is weaved through 3 times, and 2, so let's see, we weave in, we double back a little bit and keep going forward, and then we come back on ourselves. So 3 times, 2 one way, 1 back, and the 2 going one way are like overlapping each other. So heaven help me if any of these ends come undone. I'll just have to trust my dad to tell me, because I'm sending this down there. Now let's talk about how I joined these. So in the actual pattern, I don't think it actually gives you, I think they tell you to whip stitch the squares. I'm calling them squares, but they're hexagons. Whip stitch the squares together. I didn't want to do that because I really liked the look of another color being the one to hold everything together. Also, in hindsight, if I had enough yarn, I would maybe have all the hexagons have a final row in the same color and have that also be the color that I joined. But as it is, we have a separate color that is joining them, and I did the join as you go method. Now this was brand new to me. I had seen some reviews about it. Some people didn't like it. I saw one review about someone that said they were too lazy to drop the loop off their hook and pick it back up in the next motif. And I thought, well, that sounds crazy and intimidating. I also am lazy, so I didn't know if I would like doing that or not. And then I found myself super intimidated by something new, and I just had to get over it. And I was like, you know what, just like everything, you sit down and you try it, and you just take it one step at a time. Just read the instructions one thing at a time, do it one thing at a time. And you know what, I got the hang of it, and I memorized it, and it was not bad. The dropping of the loop definitely sounds scarier than it is, but I mean, it's crochet, so dropping your loop, I mean, you just take your hook out of the loop, move your hook over to the other motif, bring it down and grab that loop that you made and pull it up, and then go forward. It was great. It was pleasant. It has a very nice end effect and look, and this is wonderful, and I loved it. I would highly recommend it. All right, maybe I'll just I think I'll just keep this on my lap for the rest of the podcast, because this is nice and cozy. I wish that I didn't, I wish I could just keep this in my own living room. But as it is, my husband actually has a preference. He prefers not to be able to stick his hands through blankets. But you know what, no matter, that doesn't stop me. Maybe I could just have one for myself. And hey, if anything, that would just make extra sure that it was for me and not for him, because he wouldn't want to use it because his fingers or toes might stick through. And so just be for me. This is the plan. I see this plan coming through. Let's see if we can make this come to fruition. Okay. Let's see. I have a couple socks to show you. So I do have a finished sock here. Pull this over here. So these socks I did get to show you the last podcast, and I have one finished sock. Now this is not a particular pattern. It's just kind of based off of what I have come to memorize as a standard sock. Very vanilla, just standard sock. This is knit in Knitpicks Felici self-striping yarn. This is the colorway Summer Camp, I do believe. Super fun. And then I did knit a contrasting toe and heel in Knitpicks Stroll, I want to say, the color Ash, just to make that a little fun. So I have that finished sock, and then we have its mate on the needles. Actually, you know what's funny? I thought that I was going to have so much of this yarn left over, but actually this is as far as I got with the one ball, which is not bad. Thankfully, I do have another ball of Felici, so I can finish this. But that is as far as 2 balls of Knitpicks Felici will get ya. Awesome. Very glad and very happy that I bought 2. Whenever I get Knitpicks Felici, I do buy 2 balls of the same color for this very reason. So she can have a nice long sock. I said she. This is a gift knit. I didn't want to give anything away, but I do have someone in mind for this. A couple people, actually, these 2 socks that are on the needles are both gift knits for 2 individuals who very specifically asked for socks for Christmas. And when I said, you know, what kind of socks, what length of socks, do you want like shorty socks, long socks? They were like, long socks. And I'm like, ooh, okay. I mean, it's too bad that you didn't want some shorty socks, and those would just take less time to knit. But as we are, these will be nice long socks. So that's really fun. And then on the same token, we have another sock on the needle for that other recipient. And this is another self-striping yarn, but it is Patton's Croy socks. And I do believe these are yarn. I have the label here actually. And the colorway of this is called Eclipse Stripes. These self-striping socks are so fun. Let's see. Let's find out. It is 75% washable wool and 25% nylon. Not bad. These are not as soft, but they're still soft. And they are a wool blend, so that is a bonus. I should show you, I want to show you the stitch marker, but I don't want to show you my my dry, ugly hands, which are because I wash my hands so much as a nurse. I'm putting the sanitizer on them all the time. Okay, let's see if you can see this stitch marker. So this is a little peppermint mocha, a little peppermint mocha stitch marker. And I got this last Christmas from Little Bitty Delights. And it was a pretty interesting little package that she had put together. She had kind of paired this up with a book that was a little murder mystery. And it was something like the Peppermint Mocha Murder or something. Something kind of silly, kind of cutesy. And so, let's see, what did I get? I got some peppermint hot chocolate sugar scrub, which I still use to help with these nasty hands. I got this little stitch marker, and then it ended up coming with 2 sock patterns, which was awesome. Still haven't made, but maybe I will soon. And so I started reading the book. I definitely like murder mysteries. I definitely like, well, I more so like true crime. So maybe that's why I didn't really get into it. I could see it being really cute story. Other people could get into it. There's like a series, this woman who is like a chocolatier. She makes chocolates and desserts and I guess gets involved in murder mysteries. But it didn't grab me enough to finish the book. But that is why this little stitch marker of hot chocolate has a little candy cane and a little skull on the whipped cream, so it's a little cute and a little I don't know what the word is I'm thinking of, little macabre at the same time. I don't know. Anyways, so this will be another striped sock, and then I think when I finish these 2 socks, that'll be it for my Knitmas knitting. I very well could finish beforehand, and then I don't even know what I'm going to do with myself. I might as well start on something for myself, but I am worried that whatever I start is going to get put on the wayside because there's going to be yarn to open for Christmas, and I'm probably going to want to cast on with something that I find under the tree. You know, problems. These are awesome problems to have. We'll figure it out. Or I could start another stash busting afghan. Who knows? Who knows? I do have one more thing to show you. This is another finished object, basically another Knitmas project. This is, I think it's called On the Sea Train by Espace Tricot. This is some yarn that you may recognize if you watch this podcast. I definitely bought a nice big quantity of this yarn last Christmas, but I don't think this particular individual that's getting this hat got this colorway. I think last year he got like a blue. But yep, in making my Knitmas gifts, this will be for someone who does not have a brown hat. You can see this is a ribbed pattern. The brim, if you want to call it that, can be wherever they want it to be, because it's like the whole thing is brim. Because the whole thing is this ribbed pattern. And then what drew me to this was the look of the decreases from the side, which I suppose are not super fancy, but maybe in like the ribbed pattern they just kind of stick out, and I just like it. So this will be a nice Knitmas year. Sending out my presents soon, and then looking forward to more to be given on Christmas. I'm sending those out in the mail. I'll open some, have some recipients open theirs on Christmas. I do have an advent calendar going on. I have some mixed feelings about the advent calendar that I'm using. It is a mini skein advent calendar from Cornbread and Honey, and I'm kind of still trying to figure out like what's the pattern going on. Is this a fade? Is this something different? I don't even know. Anyways, all right, thank you so much for watching thus far. If you like what you see, be sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. If you want to chit chat with me, you can always leave a comment. You can connect with me on Instagram at Adventures with Yarn, and you can find me at adventureswithyarn.com, which is a free social media platform. Okay, I think we better call it quits. All right, thank you so much for watching. Merry Christmas. I hope that you're having as awesome of a Knitmas as I am. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.